We're live.
Yeah.
This is website 1, day 4 planning. No, day 4 pairing session.
Yes, it is. It is, and we've got to an exciting point. We've got website 1 down to 10 open pull requests. I guess the outstanding things now are we want to do a release of this latest stuff, and we kind of want to triage the kind of outstanding issues and bits and pieces, don't we? So I guess it's what's the most useful thing to do right now. Should we? I mean, you were able to push to staging.
Yeah.
Is the best use of our time now to do another oh gosh, what's it called? Do a release together, or should we triage the kind of new issues and the votes in the channel together?
I mean, I feel like it would be really nice if possible, to get that to get at least I think Federico put up 2 issues there and to be voted on. Well, actually, I put it to be voted on, but he asked if we could potentially work on it this week. And one of them, I think, maybe is not an issue that we need to, it's like, yeah, anyways. But it'd be nice to one of them potentially wouldn't be too difficult for us to get out, like.
Right, but the question is, do we spend time? I mean, there's a number of them,
Yeah.
And so on. Do we spend time now? Like we've got like half an hour now. Should we spend that time triaging, or should we spend that time doing the release? I mean, in the background, I mean, like if you wanted to run the release, I can be triaging the issues, and like I can see that there's votes that have been completed, and like things that need to be assigned. So we could kind of do that in parallel. And I guess like I would be tempted. Like, I mean, I just merged that one about access to the premium videos from Tanita and yourself. I don't know if that will be on develop yet, but maybe do you want to share your? One thing that we could do now is you could share your screen. You could go to develop. We could do the run through of develop with its new. Did you put the new seed data on develop?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So we could kind of, that would be I think a reasonable division of labor there. I can sort of collect all of the data. And it just says it's passed on develop. So presumably it'll be in the process of being deployed now. So yeah. Does that sound like a plan?
Share this, and then right. So I mean, I'm trying to also as well, like, Federico's got a premium. He's got a premium interview with someone about the React prototype stuff, and he asked me to push up the latest code that we were working on, so they can show like the events page that we've kind of created. So I pushed that up, and it's like kind of broken the site.
Oh dear.
Invalid host header. So I've taken a screenshot of that, and I can send that to him and say, I don't know, can't really debug it right now. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I did quickly.
Is it running locally for you?
Yeah, it's fine locally. I haven't checked it since Joseph did push ups and stuff, but I don't think that would have broken anything. Let's check it out. So, and then in the meantime, I'm going to be going to Heroku and turning on the develop server just momentarily, because we don't want that to be up for too long, do we? Up for grabs.net, yeah, apparently. No, that's not what I wanted. So apparently I have this running, and React listens on the same part as using a Puma server as well. That's probably why. Okay, so that's loading. And then I'll go to Agile Ventures. Ventures. So it's working. It's working here. website 1. Just send a message to Federico. Federico.
So you could check the logs for that.
I did, yeah. The logs look like it's clear. It's it compiled successfully.
And then, or you could, like, no, it could be that it's on a slightly different commit. You could force or just try and push the thing that's working for you locally.
Yeah, that's what I just did. Yeah.
Yeah. So it says, but you just pushed it up, and it said that it was up to date, and there wasn't any changes.
No, I pushed it up a minute ago. I was here on 13 events calendar. Then I grabbed the latest code, and then I did a git push Agile Ventures React frontend 13 events calendar.
Oh, okay, so you pushed precisely that branch.
Yeah, the first time I did, I had to force it because.
Okay, no, fair enough. And then if you do git status locally, you've got no dirty changes there. That would be your branch is ahead of Origin 13 events calendar by 1 commit.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
That's what it was just saying there. Your branch is ahead of, but that, I mean, that's presuming you pushed your local branch to it, not the Origin/13 events branch.
No, I only have there's no other remote here besides Origin and the.
No, but you I mean, depending on the command that you used, I mean, if you just there, you could be pushing your local branch to it, or you could be pushing the remote branch to it. So if you go back to the command that you did, yeah, so you've got 13 events -calendar, and it's not prefixed by Origin/. So that means that you're pushing, yeah, precisely that there, and that's interesting. So then the React AgileVentures.org, we're getting invalid host header. Nothing in the, and then we've got so look, we just got a notification that the Tanita stuff was deployed to website 1 develop. So. Right. We could start doing do you want to start? Maybe you start running through the thing of looking at the hist, and I can maybe try and figure this invalid host error out in the background. That's weird.
So website 1 develop. Oh, it's really hot. I need to turn on the fan. Yeah, I mean, resources. Do you want to pay money? Yes, but only until Tanzaku approves my develop on Doku.
Mm-hmm.
I can just push Doku. Right, and then if I come here and I go to website 1 -develop .herokuapp.com, something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. You know what's easier is just to do open app from the Heroku thing, and then drag that over. All right, there we go. So that's all good. And most of the changes made for this wouldn't. I guess the big change is the events thing. So I'll go there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, do a git hist, and the git hist should show you the list of things, and you should be able to see where the staging server is.
Yeah, I remember. I remember I did that. Your git hist from the staging branch.
No, from the develop branch.
Oh, develop. Sorry.
If you're on the develop branch.
Yeah, I did that earlier, and I remember that I said to myself that most of them are to do with changes that we wouldn't see, although Tanita's thing has been merged in since then. And the events thing is the big one. So add acceptance test for email interceptor, that we wouldn't see. Events API, that we...
Yeah, although I just stop you there. I mean, for the email interceptor, I guess sensibly we would be setting the, for the developer and the staging servers, we'll be setting the email interceptor appropriately. So that is something that we would like, we've kind of made a DevOps change there that we should be checking. So yeah, they do go on. Yeah, the events API, we want check that works.
Let's see, it would be everything that was today and yesterday, basically up to here is the last one that was developed that we haven't pushed to This is the last one we pushed to production.
Right.
So
okay, cool. Yeah. So like we should just quickly work through each of those.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, when you say like these DevOps ones, like switch GitHub user with repo name, like we've tested for it.
Yeah. I mean that one, I think normally, you know, that's kind of low level, probably going to be okay. They're, you know, just jumping around the site and seeing that the site looks okay is probably all right for that one. We don't have to dig down too deep. That email interceptor one becomes, because there's actually although it's not part of the site, there's an environment variable that we can change. So we should be sort of changing that and checking that it does what we think it does and stuff.
Ooh, it's quite a lot more performant, this events page.
Oh, good.
That's not what I wanted. I don't want to go to. So I still am getting that block thing here on Chrome. For the Google APIs. I mean, maybe that's something to do with my Gmap API key. No, I don't think so. That's a different project.
Well, it's just funny that you're. I mean, I guess I can go to the same thing, develop, and I don't see it. I mean, I wonder if it's related to the network that you're on.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's got to be something like that. So I'm in the past scrums now. No previous scrums. Okay, so that's something we'll have to check on staging. You said that's something that's.
Yeah.
Did you see? Oh, look at that! Hangouts is a 500 internal error.
That's interesting. Yeah, you want to look at the logs and see what it's saying.
Oh, man. All right. So then I would do Heroku. Logs, tail. This would be for develop. There you go. Hangouts, status 500. Yep, I know that. Why?
We've got a 500. Is there? There's no. Oh, is the failure is in like is scroll up? There's like errors. Go higher in logs. What's that there?
Access for 5.2.1.1.
There's a nil class method missing in the Hangouts HTML.erb. Yeah, I mean this might turn out to be specific to the data that's being used. It's not being defensive enough. You scroll up even more. I think that perhaps the source of the error. What have we got there? It's telling us get Hangouts, and then it's going through layouts application rendered index header.html.erb at the very bottom of your screen. So go down slowly.
There's 500 error as well. But yeah.
Yeah, I think there'll be repeats of the same thing. But if you go down, so it's like, you know, pulling up this, and there's something there. Ent instance RB22 in 4. Undefined method 4 for nil class.
So it's like, yeah, we're trying to call the Hangout that for helper method, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like, well, that's a sort of, yeah. I mean, can we see? It's it's modeled event instance, and what's that being called for? It's being called from some place inside the. Oh gosh.
Index.
Right.
Event.
So the
index
event. This is in event instance online. Yeah, so it's trying to call for on the event, and it's a situation where I guess maybe what's happened is that the data now for this is we've got an event instance that has an event ID that doesn't exist. Do you know what I mean? Like Daniel's kind of put. I don't know what guarantee of consistency we've got between these things. I mean, really, the code needs to operate defensively so that it doesn't just. Yeah. I mean, is
there a reason why we wouldn't do like what I did for Doku, where we just import the staging, that old staging information instead of seeding it on the seeding it is helpful for if you're for local developers, but wouldn't we want something that's more realistic data?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's the idea is that on the develop server that the smaller amount of seed data is just faster to operate with, so we can pick up those things. I mean, it's also the case that, you know, in some ways the develop server is supposed to be closer to the actual developers' machines. Like, so rather than requiring every developer to push out to Heroku, obviously they're testing locally with their seed data. So then the develop machine in the cloud has their seed data, and so it's like, okay, we can narrow the difference down to it being the Heroku rather than that. But the interesting thing, if you've got the same seed data locally, would be for you to visit the Hangouts page locally and you in develop mode, and you probably get a much easier to interpret error actually.
Yeah. Or maybe the seeding is not working properly because we don't have access to the user that that we should have access to.
Yeah.
So what is going on here? That's weird. Huh. I tried to log in. When I tried to log in with GitHub, it like sent me to the Doku login. Or not in the Doku. No, this isn't the Doku login. This is develop.agile ventures site. Because the Doku is develop.website one.
Right. Yeah, that happens sometimes when things go weird. I mean, I would say probably the thing to do to get this stuff live is to not worry about develop. Let's push it onto state. Let's do the rebase to staging, push it onto staging, and then we can come back around. So I'd turn off the develop server.
I was thinking something similar. So, okay. So then I'm going to change into staging. I'm going to do a git pull upstream staging. There's nothing new there. Then I'm going to do a git rebase develop. And then I'm going to do a git push upstream staging. And that says everything up to date because I rebased, I guess. No. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no.
So I guess you've checked out staging and you pulled in upstream staging, then you git rebase develop. Yeah, usually in that situation, I would expect
some sort of output.
Some sort of output or what have you. I mean, if you check out develop again.
Mm-hmm.
Check out develop and then do git pull upstream develop.
Right.
Yeah. So I think there was a situation that and so develop had deployed with the latest develop to develop, but it had.
It hadn't
come as a result of you kicking off. It was just the result of the merging, and so your local develop and mine were out of date.
So now I want to rebase, git rebase develop, and then git push upstream staging. Fast forwarding staging to develop. Yeah, that's what we want to see. There we go. All right, so that kicked off a build.
Is the React thing now on the Agile Ventures playground?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think so.
Yep.
Or is it?
No. Is it not?
What do I do then if it's not there?
We
Said it was.
It is there. It is there.
Oh.
Yeah. I was asking not because I was like working out which thing to log into. I've just been looking at this header host issue, and I'm just wondering if I can fix it by setting a host variable. Somewhat forlorn. I'll have like one. You know, I'm sure you can find the same Stack Overflow post as well as I can. I wonder if you guys been upgrading the React what is it even called? Oh, my brain. I've got more coffee. I guess you've probably been doing some upgrades to the React versions and stuff as part of what you're doing with Joseph.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Joseph is pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's hardcore. Yeah, and he's introducing lots of friends. Yeah.
Ooh. So I mean, it says here in the logs, like, you know, compiled successfully. You add your Ventures front end in the browser, and then it's like gives like a localhost 5,000 or on your network 5,000.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm just adding like a host variable into the config for the thing to set the host to be www.react.adventures.org,
right?
Which might make a difference, but might not. Yeah. I mean, I'll pop.
That will rebuild.
Oh, but so then it said, could not determine a reasonable value for web concurrency. This is likely due to running a Heroku Node.js build pack of a non-web concurrency has been set to 1. Oh, that's okay. They're fine. Attempting to bind a host environment variable, www.react.adventures.org. If this is unintentional, check that you haven't mistakenly in your shell. Could not find an open port at www.react.adventures.org. Okay. Interesting. Well, so that's kind of failed. What is the thing? I mean, we've now got, I think that hasn't redeployed. So this is like React host variable. Should it be with a port number on it? Using environment variables in React. Understanding the host variable in .env at different URLs on start. To achieve what you'd like, you need to use a custom node script like so. Huh. I guess maybe it's like, I don't know. I don't even know if it's. I was just sort of searching around for this invalid host header. And so, you know, people were saying in here from the documentation. But that's weird. Maybe that's even out of date. I'm not sure. Can't develop.
To Joseph as well. See if he.
See, we've got people here saying, you know, put this blah 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 into your end file. I mean, it's certainly setting the host like that has had an impact on the system. In that, you know, it failed to. I mean, I guess the interesting thing is, of course, that we're on Doku. I wonder if there's missing Doku DNS rebinding. Heroku Doku. Got nobody else talking about the situation of what you need to do for Doku. So it like. Yeah, I kind of got to. I guess I should. Anyway, so you managed to push to staging. So I guess that's in the process of running the build. Did you turn off the develop server? Learn more here. It's actually giving me a URL to look at. Here we go. It's in. Deployment, advanced configuration. It's moved here. A host. By default, the development web server binds to localhost. You may use this variable to specify a different host on port 3000. Yeah. Wonder if it needs to be on a different. So when I was trying with www.react, and that says couldn't find an open port, and then I tried with react.androidwedges.org, and then it's kind of this. I mean, that's like I said, that's not likely going to work. I mean,
it was saying here like development build is not optimized. Oh, okay, so that shouldn't have anything to do with it. UCR.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like, I mean, the way that we have it set up with Doku is that probably the React app under that should be binding to localhost, and it doesn't really know anything about the external, like the fact that people can talk to it externally as react.agileventures.org. I mean, that's kind of neither here nor there. I mean, but just there was all these folks saying that when they're getting invalid host header, it's because the host thing is not set to match.
I mean, here in the like entering the container here, like there's like just this app bin blah blah. I guess SRC is where I want to be, maybe because I came in app, and then there's SRC. Yeah, I mean superficially it looks okay then. Yeah, there's all.
The app is all there. I mean, I like when I see something like invalid host header, that implies to me that like the header, you know, it's being constructed, and kind of like there's then a mystery. The fact that it runs locally for us is because like we're going into it, you know, on local host, whereas like when an HTTP request comes in, it usually has a host thing telling you where it's come from, and so I assume the React app is saying, okay, this request comes from something other than the host that I'm running on. And you know, that's, you know, so we don't like that. I mean, I think there's this thing we kind of want to maybe disable the host check in this context. I mean, that may be slightly dangerous, but like for the time being, okay, now we're just in like, we're sorry, something went wrong. I guess that's, is it still deploying? We've got I guess the thing I would be tempted to do is like, what's the, you know, like, I feel like we need to tell it to run without the host check. Web dev server, kill the server, started adding a host to the command, disable host check. It's ng Angular. Can we do? I mean,
1 minute ago, like it was the other stuff about compiled successfully was 1 minute ago. So that's after you made that change to adding the host.
Right.
It looks like it did redeploy and it's compiled successfully, but it's just not viewable.
Yeah, I mean now I'm explicitly setting the host to there. I mean, I kind of want. Can I? I think I'm going to unset the host variable now.
Yeah, I'm paying attention to the staging build, which is in the Cucumber test. So
cool. The develop server is off now, is it?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
You're right. Aren't you?
Oh, no, it's so silly, isn't it? I mean, it's ridiculous.
No, I mean, I would be worried as well after you found out that.
Oh yeah, I mean that was because of my company. Oh, ridiculous. I mean, then it would kind of like. It also led me to sort of, I think, effectively kind of overcharge. Oh, go on.
Sorry, I just remembered something that I wanted to talk to you about, and we were talking about something else. And I tried to enter the AWS, and it was like, it was asking me to like click on a button that would send you an email to give like an authorization token or like So and you weren't on, so I couldn't do it at that time. But
Right.
I guess while you're on, I should try to enter AWS again.
Yeah, so you could
Sorry, go
totally
on. What were you saying?
you could totally do that now. Yeah, I think ironically I ended up like, you know, the ultimately the pressure from the local support from the Harrow Community Network client about money came because the hosting charges were perhaps bigger than they expected they would be. And actually part of why they were bigger than they expected they would be is because I was running too many servers, which is like ridiculous. But there you go. But so then I'm trying to work out this, like, there's this use it when you know what to do. So there's this, it seems like we should be able to configure Webpack dev server to have disable host check. So at the moment, the script we've got here, like, presumably is the like the whole, we don't have a separate Webpack config. Like, the front end here is all based around package.json, and we've got these scripts, and the script start is React script start.
Yeah.
Which I'm just seeing here.
I mean, that's how it was when it's deployed before as well, though. But like, you know,
Say again. Sorry.
that's how it was when it was deployed before.
Oh yeah. I'm not questioning the or suggesting this is changing. I'm just thinking, like, right, there isn't any other places that the app's starting that I don't know about.
Yeah.
And that yarn start is the way that's the way we start it locally, and presumably that's the way that oh gosh, what is it called?
Docker.
Presumably that's the way that when it's running in the Docker container, it's going in through yarn start. I mean, I guess, do we have a build pack in here or something?
No. Probably because we don't have we're not using Docker, are we?
I don't think so. I'm just doing here, but no, I think it's probably. I guess it's like using it, so Heroku-ish thing. It's like just finding a node path, or I mean, like node is such a default thing. But anyway, I mean, I can't. It's sort of, you know, it doesn't complain about this thing. I don't know that this disable host check would even get through, but it almost, I guess, doesn't quite matter. It's worth just pushing it up to see if it works. I mean, there may be like some special way that I mean, I see here they've got like the React scripts test has got an env.js DOM going in there. But so, like, I think React scripts under the hood is probably calling Webpack. That's sort of like the annoying thing about the React scripts is we can't immediately see under the hood what it's doing. Git status there, git commits, and what's this? Add disable host check. Git push the production.
The AWS stuff you sent in a DM. Oh, here we go. Found it. agileventures.org.
Okay, so getting back then into I was going to go through the other things that were being voted on in the channel. Trying to find some. Okay, so we have 3 votes so far on programming language filter not finding all Elixir projects. I'm just going to go and click.
Yeah,
reveal.
that's the one that I was saying that I kind of like. There's a conversation there, so I'm going to send a code to your email, by the way. So you
okay. Yep.
I've
got like 5 minutes, then I got to run.
Enter the code.
I mean,
here. That one, like the Elixir one, it's because of the GitHub URL. The primary one is not the one that uses Elixir. And so there is maybe, I thought about this. It would be nice to have a feature where like the project owner can actually add the languages that his or her project uses, not just rely on the GitHub languages job to you know, be the be all end all, you know.
Right.
Or like some other solution where we don't just ping the. Oh, so the build's passed, by the way.
Oh, great.
So But then he added that ticket that I was saying that like for people to be able to add more than one project board, like yeah, project
Yeah.
board.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And so that one maybe would be, kind of not so difficult to get out. And
Totally. Yeah. What I'm doing basically is I'm revealing the votes on these. This one was actually unanimous.
yeah,
And where I'm basically setting the size to be the conservative amount for, whatever was there. I mean, I'm sort of flagging for discussion where there was disagreement, but I've got both of the ones that Federico mentioned in there, and another one, and there's a couple more that I'll do here, and I'm pulling them all into the Ready channel, so they can then be effectively like sorted and dealt with, and so on and so forth.
So the staging server is up, and I'm visiting the site.
Yeah, very interesting. So I've got the React app is working locally for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that it hasn't finished deploying yet. Don't know if it's had any impact on the remote server. I was just like, the disable Hostjet has not stopped things working for me locally.
Oh, okay. Locally, you mean, yeah.
Like on my machine, yeah. Let's check while I wait for it.
So here we have, let's see, I'm gonna open up inspect so I can check the network, and I'm gonna come to upcoming events, pending. Okay, so that took 6.5 seconds to load, of which 4.5 seconds were waiting. If I refresh the page again, that was much faster. Wow. Went from 4.5 seconds to less than half a second of waiting.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And it was loaded in 2.65 seconds. And so you said that there's something I can, on staging, there's some tests I can turn on for the metrics, maybe?
Yeah, so if you're in Heroku, there is a load. If you're in the Heroku interface, there's like a loader.io plugin where you can set up to have like a test run.
Should I do it?
I'd say feel free to play with that at your leisure. I'd say the priority is to check complete the checks on the HIST, based on what we've got in the HIST thing. And if we can sign off on those, like logging in as a premium member, like different pages, Scrum page, Hangout page working, I think we should get it into production.
Right, so restrict viewing of mob videos. So I'm going to come to a mob. Well, there wouldn't be any mob videos, right? But I can share a mob video.
Yeah, you can share a mob video for a thing, and then log in as the potentially as well.
What I have here? Do I have myself here?
You should have yourself there, and we can like upgrade. You can even sign yourself up as a premium mob user if you're not already.
Redirect URI mismatch. So that's
okay. That's trying to log in with GitHub.
Yeah.
Okay. You could try and log in with Google. Yeah.
I don't know. Was I a member at this? Yeah.
Maybe not. Try sign up. I don't know. I mean, that's. Bleh. I mean, we do sometimes staging. I seem to have been able to log in fairly reliably recently.
Oh, look at this. Erro para o proprietário do site. Tome-no inválido para a chave do site. The captcha is not valid. What it's saying.
That's interesting, because I don't think we changed anything related to that, so that would affect that.
Have you tried signing up? Yeah. When was the last time you tried signing up through staging?
Like when we were testing it, like with Marion on Tuesday, I think.
Oh, really?
But that's. I mean, if staging's running, I guess I could go there myself right now.
I'll do this.
So it looks like my disable host check has not had any positive impacts on the React server, which is annoying. I assume that like if we can get it to properly disable. I mean, I am logged in on the staging server, and I continue to be able to log. Yeah, I was able to log in successfully. So that may be related to just bad data for you, and also trouble that you're having with the browser and the loading it. So I've logged. Let me just look at the sign up page. Yeah, I get that I'm not a robot thing. Looks okay to me.
I think I got that as well. I just had but the description for the events.json is there. Yeah. Oh no, I don't. I don't get the. I'm not a robot. I get the.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, there are things to investigate. I mean, I think. I guess the key one was. I mean, like, if at least in the first instance the page is kind of low, don't they? Like we had the Hangouts one. Yeah, interestingly here I've got like join and watch for Kent Beck Scrum, but not for Elixir Phoenix. So that's the kind of distinction that we were sort of expecting to have there. And then there's the React mob, and I see no previous instances.
Yes, that's weird. Like I mean, this is the 29th of November. This is like a Scrum I think I was at. Like this is not that long ago. Oh no, it sent me to www. So now it sent me to the production site. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff I'm doing here is on production. Website one, staging.
Okay, yeah, and it looks like I've been able to. Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, superficially working. I mean, I can maybe I can leave you carrying on checking that. I haven't quite got all of these tickets triaged. What do? I just got this one. I must finish these, and then I guess I just have to go. So I do have found 2802. So these are the other ones that, I mean, I just felt really sorry for Joseph doing so much good work with the new members meeting, and it still doesn't post the new members Slack channel, but I
must be able to work on that. Like, yeah. I don't know if I can play around with it. See.
Yeah. You said simple.
So this one here, this React mob for staging, that might have been. I don't know. Did you add that now?
I just did, yeah.
So I guess we still have a thing then where maybe the React mob is seen as a Scrum, because now I can see that in the Hangouts or /Scrums,
and
I can view it. Which I shouldn't be able to as a non-premium member.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
The React mob, it seems like it's still characterized, at least on staging. I think I changed this because I shared the React mob and it shared to the wrong channel, and then I think I went and changed this. And
right, if I go and look at the event details for the React mob, the category is a Scrum, so I'm just going to switch it to pair programming and save it, and hopefully it should disappear from there.
Okay, you're talking in staging, right?
Yeah.
And I'll just double check it in production. React mob. It hasn't disappeared from here.
Interesting.
So event for premium mob.
Yeah, I guess that. Well, maybe because the event instance is like when I took the video.
Yeah.
It created an event instance that was of type Scrum, and then it's in there permanently. And so, having changed the kind of parent event, it's not changing the one under the hood.
Yeah.
So 2765.
So what else was there? Add inspectlet. I'm not even sure what that does.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the key thing there is that it doesn't break the. We should tell Stu that it's when it's on the main one. I mean, it's basically supposed to support us being able to track how users kind of look through the site. And like kind of understanding better, a variety of things. We need to get Stu involved in that. I mean, we also need to do a whole lot of GDPR things as well.
I guess this premium, the premium Snarlet thing, like we've merged that in, but then there's like the follow-up to go on there and point those links in the right place.
No, right. I think the links should now be in the right place. So if you go to the premium page and look at Are they
Like,
not?
No, because we didn't change that.
Oh, have we not merged that yet? No,
No,
I thought we did.
No, we merged it, but what we merged was just the tests. Remember, you had starting GitHub pages snarl up is just the tests. It doesn't have anything to do with the.
I thought that the sorting GitHub pages snarl up.
Yeah, you said that yesterday, and then you went and looked at it and realized that it wasn't, and then.
Oh gosh! And so then, if I merged just the tests, why are the tests passing then?
The tests are not, because the tests are not like I don't think they're looking at the actual path.
Okay, so then I guess we need different tests.
I think the tests are just testing the job that like the job is working properly, and the job is working properly, but it's not checking the current path.
Okay, so then that's a separate. We'll have to have a separate ticket on that.
Yeah. What else? Up the API to have description field that's working. Bump Capybara. Rails. Oh, so it did bump to 5.2.1.1. Nice.
I mean, there was a security issue there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, I've done the triage, and as much as I've revealed all of the votes for like the last 5 items in website 1, and I've added the things, and I've kind of distributed them across the estimated and ready channels. Yeah. So
we'll deploy to master tomorrow.
Or I mean, carry on. If you feel confident, you could do the master deploy yourself.
I don't think you have permissions to do that.
I think you do now. But we can. Shall we? I guess. Let's do it together tomorrow, rather than like you got other stuff to do. You don't want to like be fighting fires if it ends up being like.
I don't have permissions yet.
I'm sorry?
I don't have permissions yet. Like, you need to give me permissions on Heroku, don't you? Or no?
Not necessarily, although ostensibly I would. I think I'm like massively over time. I think, yeah. We'll check in on that tomorrow. I've got
Sorry.
What's that?
Those links as well. They send to the they need to be relative links, not absolutes as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Well, no, we've made some good progress today. We've got the let's. Do you want to take the stream off momentarily?
Yes.
Let's wrap up the recording.